If I woke up tomorrow with zero money, no audience, and no tech skills, here's the exact process I would use to get customers for free utilizing AI. And the best part is, I'll show you how to do it with AI automations, even if you're not super tech savvy. In this video, I'm going to break down 3 levels of AI automation to get your first customers. And the best part is, all these software and everything I showed today is going to be free to get started. Level 1 is going to be simple plug and play. Level 2 is going to be multi-channel with follow-ups. And then level 3 is a full-blown AI sales machine. Whether you're just starting off or trying to scale things up, you're going to want to stick around for the video because there's going to be something for each one of you. Now, before we dig in, if this is your first time seeing me, make sure to hit the subscribe button and let's get started. All right, everyone, I'm going to switch over to screen share for this portion because it's going to give you a lot more details on how to actually utilize everything. Like I mentioned, all these tools are free or free to start with some sort of trial, and I'm going to have links below where you can use these links. And it's going to help out the channel, but it's also going to give you free access to try out all of these tools and software. Now, the first software I love using is called Snov.io, SNOV.io. And the cool thing about this is it's free to get started. It connects to your Gmail, and you can build some really easy integrations. And so this is level 1. Level 1 is basically just going to be able to show you how to automate email outreach to cold or warm leads. And so one of the biggest issues I see with people not automating things is they can do it for a day or two manually, but then they forget. Maybe you send the first email, but you forget the follow-ups. And again, a lot of the conversions for these email campaigns, they come on day 5 or day 6 because what happens is somebody's on vacation, or you hit somebody with their email at a bad time, or their inbox is flooded on Monday, but you hit them again on Friday where they're at inbox 0 and they're able to reply. Or you just hit them with an angle that is more appealing. So that's where email automation comes in. And I'm going to show you a little bit of a preview of what I've built and some of the better performing campaigns that I've used. So what we've got here, we've got a few campaigns that I've tested, and all these have actually generated some profit and revenue from them. But what I want to show you is this new campaign that got 56% open rates, a pretty good reply rate. Again, this is something that you need to do at a little bit higher scale. So what I was doing is just testing different angles, different audiences at a lower scale. And then what I do from that is I'll take that campaign and I'll put into another software to do it at a higher scale. Meaning this is great for testing things with Gmail at a low scale. And the cool thing is 56% email open shows that this audience is responding to the email subject line, and the reply rate is pretty good. 2 to 3% is kind of what I'm shooting for, but typically any cold thing over 1% is pretty good. As long as you're getting positive replies, that's the important thing. So let's go ahead and just open this email campaign, and I will give you a quick preview about how this actually works. So I'm just going to go to the edit here. And basically, if you're starting from scratch, what you want to do is just build a new campaign. So you can go to new campaign, and then you have a start. The start is usually going to be based off of some sort of trigger. For this campaign in general, the start is going to be when anybody gets enrolled into the list. So let's just call it the list A. So whenever I enroll people into list A, it's going to enroll them into this email sequence. This is just an example, but in general, this is as simple as it can be. I recommend at least 5 to 7 emails in any sort of sequence, and I like to space it out 1 to 2 days. The reason behind that is if you're doing cold email and you're spacing it out over like a month, it's going to get too much time delay to figure out what's working and what isn't. So what I typically do here is I like to really put a lot of time on the subject line. And to get actual opens, you can see what subject line I use here. This was for a summit that I was hosting, the Side Hustle Summit. And so it was targeting businesses to sponsor the event. And so here we've got reach 400,000 entrepreneurs. So I'm reaching out to businesses, and their core audience is business owners or entrepreneurs. And so all these businesses want to reach people who are entrepreneurs. And so that's why I made it fairly simple. I really try to pique their interest with some of the big names in the talk, some quantitative, metrics about what the list is going to be promoted to. I optimized it to actually use their first name, their company name. And so that way it shows that it's actually customized for them. And so on their end, it actually looks like an authentic email. And so it looks like a real human is actually sending a real email. And that's an important thing. So what you want to do here is go ahead and test this. You can save it as a template, but what you can do is you can try a few different templates, but always try to use some variables. And I always typically test a variable in the subject line. If you can do that with their first name, that can also work really well. And so one thing here that I think is probably could be different. I don't know why it's bolded. Maybe that's just it looks like it's not bolded, but for some reason, bold text is showing up here on the preview. So I would look into why that is. But in general, this seemed to perform pretty well. So after that, the email waits 2 days, and then you can actually have some settings here for unenrolling people. So if anybody responds to this email, they actually don't get sent the second email. So that's why I think it's good to have a day or two delay on the first one. And then the second one is going to be it's going to be a reply to that same subject line. So it's going to be threaded. And the good thing about that is typically when people see reply, they have a higher chance of opening it and actually engaging. So this is just another recap, a little bit more details on what they would get out of it with the sponsorship. And then the last one is just, hey, it's another recap. I would probably add 2 or 3 more emails on this, just saying, hey, are you still interested in joining or getting exposure for your company to X amount of entrepreneurs? And just keep it like a really simple one after this. Add 2 or 3 days, and then, a breakup email. Hey, it looks like I'm bugging you, or maybe this inbox isn't active. If so, this is my last email. If you were interested in it, you can set up a call with me here. So you should have, in general, one call to action, either to reply or to take action, and try to keep your emails fairly short. I haven't seen really good experience with super long cold emails. So that's something to consider. And so as we're going next, we can figure out who's the list that you're sending to. You can skip recipients. You can make sure that they're verified emails. And then the next thing is going to be the sending options. This is the email. You get 200 per day on their free plan, which is pretty cool. And then you can send what times you want the emails to actually be sent out. You can add one-click unsubscribes. And there's some other variances, but basically you want to make sure that people if they reply to the email, that they're getting pulled out of the campaign, so that way it doesn't keep sending them. So that's kind of a very simple level 1. And so when you're doing this, think about who your avatar is and what the easiest call to action in that one value. So one, let's just say core value or transformation that you're doing, one avatar that you're appealing to, and one call to action. Add all 3 of those things throughout each email inside your campaign. And I would say at least 7 to 14 days with at least 1 day delay. So that's a really great software. I'll leave a link below where you can actually access and start a free trial. And so the next thing I want to show you is a little bit more in depth, and I'm going to build it out with you. So this is a landing page that I'm driving cold traffic to. And basically what I've seen work really well, and this landing page style is converting at about 15%, which is really good for cold traffic. 15 to 20% is really awesome, depending on what scale you're at. So what I've done here and what I've seen work really good is a bold headline offering something for free that they get access to. And so get instant access now. That CTAs seem to work pretty well. And then an image with some sort of subtext here. So the main thing that they don't need to have any experience or tech skills for this to work. There's 3 secrets, and then this is the goal, 10K per month. And so after they opt in here, having a very simple mobile optimized, mobile friendly landing page here is going to be key. And let me show you another example that I use for the Side Hustle Summit. And so basically we're driving traffic to this, we're getting people in there, and then we're using low ticket items to upsell them to actually access the full summit. And so let me show you what that actually looks like. And what I'm using here is Go High Level. And you'll see a link below if you want to set up a Go High Level account, or if you want us to actually do it for you, we'll build it for you. Just click the link below in the description. You can get a free 30-day trial, and you can join our community, the Earn From Anywhere Academy, where we'll actually build your first funnel and website for you. And so what we have here is basically once they fill out this form, they're going to get a trigger here. Form submitted, get an email. And so you want to send this immediately. What happens is people are on their phone, they're on their way to work, they're filling out stuff, they get busy, they click something, they fill it out, and then they just forget about it. They don't have time to sit through an hour-long, workshop, read a PDF, whatever. So the first thing you want to do is, if you're sending cold traffic, warm traffic, whatever, just send them the thing they opted in for immediately. As you can see here, we had 95% delivered, almost 50% open rate with a 15% click. So this is really solid metrics. The one thing I'm seeing here is the delivery rate is a little bit low. So people might be using some sort of like fake email to just access the page without getting that. So what you can do for that is, if you really have a low delivery rate, you cannot give them access to it. But usually because you're only getting 50% open and 15% clicked, you got to find out what is the best metric. And what I'm saying here is sometimes people hide the opt-in page. So after they opt in here, they get direct to the workshop. And I found that to be a better, it's just more clear. It's like less barrier to entry to get to the next step. Some people will say, hey, to get that next step or the freebie or whatever you're offering, you have to go to your email and open it from there. And so that does a few things. It shows a few positive signals that your email isn't spam. And then it gets people to get familiar with your email address and interact with it. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to show you what this first email looks like. And if you want to see the full breakdown, you're going to have to join the Earn From Anywhere Academy. Just in general, I'm making longer tutorials in there. So your free workshop inside limited time, so it adds a little bit of urgency for them to actually view it. And then it's just simple copy, nothing that crazy. A clear call to action inside the first, let's just say 2 sentences. Click this link to access the training that they're looking for. So what I would do here, if I wanted to improve this subject line and sort of things, I might add their name. Hey, Mike, here's your free gift inside, limited time. Or here's your free workshop, limited time, Mike. Add in their first name. And so if you wanted to do that, all you got to do here is just add custom values. And you would just do like this. Boom. Now you got to customize email. That's going to improve those open rates pretty dramatically from what I've seen. So what I'll do is I'll save that. And I'll remove the hey, just because I know I have everyone's first name here. So we got their first name, last name, which makes it easy. So we've got first name, your free workshop inside. First name, one call to action, one person. And so what I would do here, here's instant access to the free training. And so what I would do here to make this better is I would use this headline. So 3 secrets to start a 10K per month online business. And so adding in that gives them a little bit more, details about, hey, if they open this 2 days later, what's the training they actually sign up for? All right, so that's how I would improve that. I would actually test the copy and just go through each one of these. And so what I do is I try to look at these every month or every 2 weeks, depending on how much traffic you're getting, and just optimize the open and click rates. So if you see anything that's under 20% and is, let's just say, under 3% click, you need to optimize. So this one's pretty bad. So good open rate, bad click rate. And the main reason was, I think I just optimized this one. So let me save this. I think I just changed this. I think the CTA was either broken or it was down here. It was too low. So I added another CTA up higher. And I tried to improve the subject line a little bit. 50% off. I think it was just last chance. And that was it. So let's just we'll basically follow this to see how it performs over time. All right, so moving on, if I wanted to improve this workflow, what I would do is just go to day one. And I would basically just add in let's get out of this view here. And so in high level, what you can do is just add in an SMS. And basically what I would do is you can write it with AI, which is cool, and you can select the tone. And I would just say, hey, first name, here's the free workshop you just signed up for. And so I would just add in something like that, generate a SMS here. And then I would customize it. Mike Swig, it's key. I would add my name or just say like something like this is more formal or informal. Very simple, very casual. Here's what you asked for. Here's the link, Mike. That's it. Looks like a real person sending it. Again, text messages get crazy high open rates, usually like 90%. So what I would do is like add in spacing for every sort of day. So what I would do here is probably add in like a little bit of delay for the text. So the text and email, it's not a huge difference, but on the later emails, you kind of want to stagger them a little bit. And you can also add in some other things to make sure that the time of day is good. So what is great about this is form triggered, they get sent the email, and then typically when they're most active, they're going to be getting sent these other details. So if you guys like this, I'll go a little bit more in depth in a bunch of other tutorials inside the Earn From Anywhere Academy. And so I'll just give you a quick call to action. If you want to join that, you want to get access to more training and tutorials like this, DM access, a bunch of our course materials, and like $20 other $1,000 worth of value, you can just view this, scan this QR code, or go to school.com/EFA. And if you don't want to scan the QR code, just click the link below down in the description to actually join. And so basically our pitch for you is we help you get your first online customers within 60 days. And if we fail at that, we work with you for free until you do. And so one last automation here I'll go through. This is the best automation I've seen for almost anybody. And it's a level 3 because you kind of need to have a product, a service, or some type of like offer already working, and you need to figure out driving traffic to that. And so with this offer, basically what happens is 90% of people don't actually go through checking out. But if you can structure it correctly, you can actually grab the majority of those people and send them through a workflow that re-engages them. So that 90% is actually going to be basically abandoning cart. And so what you could do is we're basically just taking them, all the customers from our software that we use to manage billing. We're putting them through a sequence, filtering them, and then adding them to email. The cool thing about high level is you can kind of do all of this already in there, but what you need to do for your checkout is you need to structure the form so they submit it and then they get to the checkout. So what you can do is you can have a free call to action or form, kind of like what I showed you here. And then when you start your checkout process, you can auto-fill that, and then it's going to show you, you can add a tag like checkout started. And so what they can do is they can say start checkout here. They start the checkout, then they actually take to another page, or it can pop up the checkout field. And so that way you're grabbing all those details. And then what's cool about that is when they get to the checkout form, it'll just auto-populate all these details. But the great thing about this, it can send an internal notification to your sales team, hey, this person abandoned cart, they didn't actually check out. And so the important thing here is like, you need to have an hour delay. So like when the checkout was started, so give them an hour to actually finish the checkout. That way you don't have a bunch of false positives. And so after that, what you can do is you can send an email to your sales team yourself, and then you can enroll them in a sequence of emails, text, AI call automations, all these cool things, and then you just set it and forget it. And this has shown really good numbers, about 10 to 20% improvement for additional customers. You set it all of these things up once, and then you forget it. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more trainings, I'll leave a link below to the Earn From Anywhere Academy. And again, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll leave another video up here that will go even more in depth.